Hey everybody, Sarah Smith here from Power Food Families. I'm a health and wellness coach, and my goal is to help make healthy living sustainable and fun and simple for families. So today I'm doing a second series for breakfast, smoothie bags, because everybody says they don't have time to cook. So we're gonna try to make a way to make it more simple with some meal prep. So it does take some effort, but then it makes breakfast easier to make. So in my last video, I talked about why is breakfast important. And so really, if you eat within the first 1 to 2 hours of the day, it helps jumpstart your metabolism so that it's working well throughout the rest of the day. And studies have shown that those who eat breakfast usually have healthier weights. So maybe that'll motivate you to get going on breakfast. You don't have to do anything fancy. Smoothies are an amazing way to start your day. They're simple. You can load up on your nutrients. You can get lots of fiber, get some fruits and vegetables. So I'm going to show you a few smoothies that you can put some veggies in, and you won't notice they're there. Even there's a smoothie with white beans, and so that adds protein and great source of fiber as well, with some beans, and it doesn't taste beany because the fruit makes it yummy. So I like to focus on whole foods for my smoothies. I don't like to worry about protein powders because a lot of times you don't always know what the fillers are or what kind of soil it's been grown in. They can be expensive and they're not always third-party tested. So I try to go for the whole foods. So the things that I use to add nutrients, especially, if you're worried about getting enough protein for the day, which it's easy to get. You only need about 55 grams for a 150-pound woman. That just gives you a little sense of you should be getting enough protein just by eating a lot of variety in your diet. Speaking of variety, when you make smoothies, it's a great way to get to move towards your goal of 30 plant foods in a week. So there's been lots of studies done to show that in order to improve your gut health for an ideal, healthy gut bacteria, which takes up makes up who you are, is that gut bacteria. And so aiming for 30 different plant foods a week is going to get you there. So in your smoothie, aim for some variety. Get lots of different seeds and berries and greens and cruciferous vegetables even, and you'll get your day started off on the right foot. So I guess we'll go ahead and we'll make some smoothies. I'll give you a few tips on what I like in ours. So we have 6 kids, and some of them tend to be a little more particular than others in what they like. So probably their number one favorite smoothie at our house is a chocolate smoothie. And I have a client also that really loves chocolate, and she says, well, how can I have chocolate for breakfast and have it be healthy? So you're in luck. I'm going to show you that, something that's creamy and delicious and sweet and chocolatey, and then you can feel like you're indulging yourself, but you're giving yourself the nutrients you need, and not it's all good, real live sugar from fruits and dates that contains the fiber, so your blood sugar is not going to spike. It's going to be stable. You're going to feel full throughout the morning because of the fiber and all the whole food. So the number one is the chocolate smoothie. We do that on Tuesdays. So I have a routine where we do, let's say, oatmeal for breakfast on Mondays. Tuesdays is smoothie and toast. We like to chew something with our smoothie because when you start chewing, your saliva sends a message to your stomach to start getting ready to process and digest the food. So that's kind of cool. So you don't always want to drink your meals. If you can crunch on something with your smoothie, that's going to be ideal. So we like to do smoothie bowls sometimes. So you make a really thick smoothie with frozen fruit and less liquid, and then you can add in put some berries or granola or drizzle some nut butter on top. So that's kind of a fun way to have a smoothie where you're getting a lot of those nutrients and then you're chewing it too. You can eat it with a spoon because it's so thick. And so that's a fun, that can be a dessert or it can be breakfast. It can feel like a special treat for breakfast, but you can have it every day and it'll be amazing for your health. And then another one is we like to do, so the smoothie bowl that we like, that our kids like, it's called Unbeatable Smoothie. So for Valentine's, we made one, and it actually is made with beets, which not all my family likes beets, but with this one, the berries kind of cover up the beet flavor, which can maybe taste a little like the earth, a little bit like dirt. So the berries kind of help cover that up. And so it's really fun for Valentine's. You can cut your strawberries in little heart shapes. You cut out the middle, and then you slice them, and you can arrange beautiful little hearts on top. Maybe I'll show you Valentine's, so you can look forward to that. Maybe when my video skills are better. But so it has apples and beets and berries, and then it has, you could put chia seeds in it or hemp seeds and soy milk. And you make it thick, you put fun decorations on top to make it Valentine-y. You can even put a few little mini chocolate chips or cacao nibs if you want to be even healthier. And so that's a fun way to get beets in a smoothie. So that's one that my kids like. And then they think they don't like green smoothies, but guess what? We make one for our nonprofit, our Thundering Water nonprofit, which we have a smoothie bike. And so one that we like to make that kids usually like is called a monster smoothie. It's green, so green like a monster, and it has greens. Usually kids like spinach a little bit better than kale because spinach doesn't have so strong of a flavor. I like to use the power greens from Costco. So it has spinach, kale, Swiss chard, maybe mustard greens, arugula, I don't know. Anyway, if you get the power greens, they're usually baby power greens. They're not really strong, and then you're getting at least 3 different greens to count towards your different plants for the week. And so that's a great way. You can just stick that whole bag or whole carton, however you buy it, just stick it right in the freezer before it goes slimy or bad. And then it's really easy. You can just grab a couple handfuls, put it in your smoothie, there's your greens, and then you add some frozen banana, you add some frozen mango and some frozen pineapple. You can even get it in a mixed bag like this. Ta-da! So the grocery store makes it really easy for us to make smoothies these days. We don't even have to make smoothie packs, which we are going to make some just for fun today, just to stick in our freezer to show that we put a little effort into it. But if you want to get this morning blend, it has pineapples, bananas, and mango. So this is awesome. You can just add some of this to some greens and some soy milk, and you have a smoothie for the day. So this is really awesome to make smoothie making easy without even making up smoothie packs. Just put this and some greens and milk of your choice. That's a great way. So that's another good smoothie, monster smoothie, because it's green. It'll give you muscles like Hulk. That's what I like to tell the kids. I usually add some chia and some flax. Flax can kind of, if you don't drink the smoothie right away, flaxseed can be a little bit gooey. So if you're gonna drink it right away, great. If you're not gonna drink it right away, I would just stick with chia seeds for your omega-3s and save the flax for ground flax on top of your oatmeal or something. And you probably wanna know, how do you, action. Okay, so when you buy a bag of spinach and you don't want it to go bad, all you have to do is put it in the freezer. Favorite superfood smoothie that we make at our house is a green smoothie. So if you call it a Hulk smoothie, kids will really think it's cool. Or tropical, maybe you guys like tropical things. You could use coconut milk if you want. Tropical oils and milks tend to have more saturated fat, so that's the downside. You could use coconut water, and that'll give it even more tropical vibe. That's kind of fun. So I have my 3 handy dandy bag holders. I'm gonna fill these up so that we have 3 days of smoothies. Pretty cool. And instead of orange juice, I peeled an orange, because each one is gonna have a whole orange in it. And that gives it the citrus, which kind of takes away the edge of maybe a little bit of bitter in the greens that we're gonna put in there. So this is a fun job for your kids. Have them peel the oranges, put it into sections so it's easier to blend up. And great job for getting kids involved in the kitchen, and that makes them want to eat what you're making even more if they can have part of the fun. Oranges, great vitamin C, and vitamin C helps your body to get more of the iron and calcium from the greens. So greens are an amazing source of calcium. Did you know that? You don't have to have dairy to get the calcium that you need. Yeah, beans and greens are going to be a really high source of calcium and iron. So add that. Oh dear, I think I put 3 halves of an orange in one of these. It's hard to talk and cook at the same time, you know? So, okay, we're gonna put the oranges in, all 3 bags here. If I did just one, it probably would take less time, be easier for you, but we are saving time for later. We're meal prepping, and you get to hear me talk about nutrition because that's what I like to do. So oranges, get them in the winter, freeze them if you want. If you want to use orange juice in a pinch, then use orange juice, whatever you have. Okay, again, freezer friends, ones that are mixed. So this smoothie is gonna have pineapple, banana, and mango. You can just use pineapple or mango. I like to use both. Again, we're aiming for the 30 different plant foods in a week. So here's 3 right here in the bag, plus the oranges, plus all the other good stuff that we're making in smoothies. So we're gonna do about 2 cups. 2 cups of this fruit in each bag. So it just kind of has a mix of pineapple, mango, and banana. I hope it'll fit in this bag. That'll be the trick. Ha ha. Because we're gonna put 2 cups of this, and then we gotta put in the greens. So the greens, you're gonna put in 1 to 2 cups, depending on how well you like it. So the more greens, the better, obviously. You know, if you can have a higher concentration of greens versus fruit, that's awesome. But if you're just starting out and maybe you don't like the flavor as much of the greens, then by all means, just start with a little and move up. There's no such thing as the right way to do it. Some is better than none. We're gonna put in, so I have spinach and I have kale. Again, variety is the spice of life. So isn't it awesome? You don't even have to de-stem the kale. And the spinach, you just buy a bag. You can buy it frozen or fresh and stick it in your freezer. It's just getting blended up. It doesn't matter. So I like to put a handful of both. A handful of spinach. To have strong muscles like Popeye. I love the Popeye is on the spinach bag. Show the kids, flex their muscles. They think it's cool. They're gonna drink it, be just like Popeye. Wow, this smoothie is gonna have a hard time fitting in a quart-sized bag, but we're just gonna fill it with greens. It's gonna be amazing. And then about a fistful of kale. It doesn't have to be perfect. If this isn't sweet enough for you, again, you can add some dates. That's gonna be your whole food sweetener, but you don't have to put dates either. And then another tricky ingredient that maybe your family might like, maybe you'll like, maybe you won't, is ginger root. Have you ever seen a whole ginger root? It's pretty cool. Looks like a bunch of little fingers, like Harry Potter, I forgot what the Harry Potter thing is. I don't know. Anyway, I like to buy it. If you can get it organic, awesome, because it's in the soil. And if you freeze it, you can you can just leave the skin on. You don't have to peel it, because then when you chop it up when it's frozen, sometimes it leaves the skin behind. You can easily peel it off. That's cool. That works really well. Or leave the skin on. It's going in a blender. If it's organic, the skin doesn't matter. You can have it that way. When you chop it, it kind of flakes off like this when it's frozen. And when you freeze it, it's not going to go bad again. It's awesome. Just kind of wash it off. Chop it into little knobs, put it in the freezer, and then you can just kind of slice off little bits at a time. You can even slice it before you freeze it, flash freeze it flat, and then you have like little circles that you can add to your smoothie. But I just chopped off a little bit. I'm just gonna put a little pinch in each bag. So I have 3 bags, and then the little ginger gives it a nice zest. Ginger is amazing for anti-inflammation. So if you have sore joints or you have some inflammation going on in your body, ginger cinnamon, garlic, those things are going to be really awesome to help with that inflammation. So we'll call this our anti-inflammatory smoothie if it's an adult drinking it. If it's a kid, I'd go with the monster smoothie or a Hulk smoothie. Pretty awesome. Okay, label your bags. Lamb fat in the freezer. We got 3 more smoothies. Awesome. They're all ready, so when you have a busy morning and you don't know what to fix, make one of these. Then you can put some avocado toast. It's green, St. Patrick's Day. You know, make it green all around. It won't hurt you. It'll be fun. Okay, so now we're gonna do a berry bean smoothie. Beans and smoothies sounds a little bit weird. But if you can get your beans for breakfast, hey, why not? It's a great source of fiber and protein. Beans are really amazing because they have a soluble and insoluble fiber, kind of an equal amount. So the soluble fiber kind of gels things, and then the insoluble helps create more of what you need to get things cleaned out in your digestive system. So it's good to have both, and plant foods are amazing at doing both those things and helping just to really, when I teach the middle school kids, I tell them it's kind of like a pipe cleaner, cleaning out your intestines. That's what that fiber does. It kind of collects all the things that are not so good that maybe you've consumed or that's in the just in your environment that goes into your body. So fiber helps kind of clean that out. So beans and any kind of plant foods really are amazing at that. So today with the bean berry smoothie, I have my little bag holders, so they're going to be helpful. And then I have a scale, because sometimes when you're making smoothies and you're using frozen ingredients, they might, when you measure them, it's going to be a little bit different. So when I use the scale, I'm going to put on, my camera's kind of at a weird direction, so you're not really going to see what I'm doing, but I'm going to put this on the ground and then I'm going to tare it once I put my holder on here. I'm going to put this on the scale, and then it's going to push tare. And first I'm going to put in a banana. Now my other smoothie, I had frozen bananas. You don't have to have frozen bananas because you're just going to stick these freezer packs in the freezer for later. So you can just break up a banana that has some brown spots. Don't throw it out. Perfect for smoothies. It'll be sweeter the more brown spots there are. So this one has 1 banana. Bananas make it creamy. They have great potassium, and they add the sweetness, especially the more brown spots, the sweeter it is. And then we want at least strawberries and blueberries. So again, the stores make it easy for us to make smoothies. This has 3 berries in it. You can use 3 berries. This one, so it says 150 grams of strawberries and 150 grams of blueberries. Well, this has 3 berries, so we're gonna do 300 grams of berries when we're measuring it on our scale. And the beautiful thing about strawberries, it's kind of interesting, is they help neutralize heavy metals in your body. So that's kind of cool. And then raspberries, so they have a special compound in them. I better watch the scale, make sure I have the right amount. So they have a special compound that stops the growth of tumor-causing cells. So berries are a powerful food. I guess you could call them a superfood, but I say they're one of the powerful foods. If you don't know what else to eat for the day, I always tell my clients, make sure you're eating berries, beans, and greens at the minimum. If those are the healthy foods you're eating, those are going to give you the best bang for your buck. So the most nutrients for what you're eating, berries, beans, and greens. And then if you can get seeds in there and nuts and cruciferous vegetables, you're doing extra awesome. But berries are really awesome. Blueberries are, they all are really high in vitamin C. They support the immune function. Blueberries are especially dark. So remember I said the darker the fruit or the vegetable, then the higher they are in antioxidants. And they reduce cholesterol, they reduce heart disease risk because of that, and just overall super. They're not going to do you any harm. Berries are amazing. So it's gonna be 300 grams of berries, and then we're gonna put cauliflower. So this recipe calls for some interesting ingredients. 130 grams of cauliflower. I'm gonna tare my scale, so that means it's gonna go to 0 again, so that I can measure. I'm not having to dirty any utensils when you use a scale. That's the fun part about using a scale. And I'm gonna use 130 grams of cauliflower. Now the cool thing about when you buy frozen cauliflower is it's not gonna go bad in your fridge. You're not gonna forget about it. It's already chopped up. They pick it at the peak of nutrients. Anytime you're buying frozen produce, it's picked at its peak and it's flash frozen, so it's gonna keep those nutrients. When you buy things fresh, it's awesome if you can get it at a farmer's market, but when they're sitting on the shelf at a store, the longer they sit there, the more nutrients they lose. So frozen actually is a very healthy way to get fruits and vegetables, and they're not gonna go bad. They sit in your freezer and they wait for you to use them. So we're putting cauliflower in here. Cruciferous vegetables are so good for your gut health. They're pretty awesome. They have what's called sulforaphane. And so try to get those every day too. I know the list keeps getting longer. So we have cauliflower, 130 grams, and then beans. Here's our magic ingredient to make it protein rich. We're doing a half a cup of beans. That gives us 7 grams of protein. And then you're adding, did you know there's protein in all plant foods? I know, I tell that to people, they think I'm crazy, but we're also gonna add soy milk when we make the smoothie, and that's gonna give us 8 more grams, per cup of soy milk. And then, let's see, how many beans? Half a cup. This is not weight, sorry. Maybe I'll see how much half a cup of beans weighs here. We'll make a guess. Ooh, so 92 grams, you could round it up to 100 grams of beans. And then you hope that your kids don't taste the beans. If you put a little bit of vanilla in there, my kids like this smoothie. The berries kind of mask the taste of the cauliflower. So try it, see what you think. If you don't really like some of the flavors in there, mix it up. Change it, see what you like. You can use any kind of red berries, even pomegranate. Sometimes there's mixes with pomegranate in there. They're really high in antioxidants and some other things. So see what you think of this berry bean smoothie. Make a bunch of them in Ziploc bags, label them, and then lay them flat in your freezer, and you have a smoothie that's good to go. Dump it in your blender, and you have an instant breakfast. So you can also add seeds. If you want to put seeds and you don't want to put them in your bag, if they get stuck to your bag, you could just kind of put some of the liquid in the bag, swish it out, or just have a container that has flax, chia, and hemp all mixed together. You can keep it in your fridge so it lasts longer, and then just scoop it out and put it when you're making your smoothie, and it doesn't take extra time. So that's another way to add seeds to your smoothies. So a chocolate peanut butter one, and I like to add either frozen cherries or frozen strawberries, just to give it a little extra antioxidant boost from the berries and the cherries. So the darker, little fun fact is, the darker the fruit or whatever food you're eating, usually a higher antioxidants. So like cacao, for instance, it's really high in antioxidants. So you're eating a healthy food and maybe you didn't even realize it. So this is cocoa powder. It is awesome. There's no sugar in it, and there's no fat, and that bird is driving me crazy today. So this is what you want to use in your smoothies. You don't want to use a chocolate drink mix. This is just cocoa powder or cacao, however you want to say it. We're going to start with oats, and the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of oats, but we like to double it because I'm feeding usually 6 cups of smoothie. So I'm going to start with the oats, and I like these little bag holders because then you don't have to worry about your bags spilling over. It's pretty convenient. You don't have to have them. You can just roll the top of the bag down if you want it to be open a little bit better. Just roll down the top just a little bit. So we're doubling that, so I put 1/2 cup of oats. But if you want a single recipe, use a 1/4 cup of oats, and then 1 banana in each. Okay, when I told you in another video that we like lots of bananas. We like to make banana ice cream. It's a yummy treat. But when they go brown, it's our favorite. You don't have to throw them out. You just peel them and put them whole in the bag. And it's amazing because then they come apart really easy. And then you can just break it into chunks like this. You don't have to chop it and fill up a whole pan in your freezer. And you can put, if you want, just a little bit of banana and then strawberries instead, then you can do that too. Little fun fact, I think bananas are a berry because of the seeds in the middle. That's what the middle schoolers tell me when I try to teach them. So there you go. Frozen banana is amazing because when you blend it up, it's really creamy, like ice cream. So we used to do ice cream for our Monday family nights. That's what we like to have for dessert because it didn't take any preparation. We realized that probably wasn't the best for us, so we started making banana, it's called banana and ice cream, and just frozen bananas with added, frozen strawberries or whatever. You could put peanut butter in it. I'm gonna wash my hands off. You can make peanut butter and cocoa and make like a chocolatey ice cream, but all it is frozen fruit blended up. A Ninja Creamy, ooh, that sounds like a fun gift for me someday. But for now, we use our Vitamix blender, or a Blendtec would work. Any high-powered blender works really good, and it's amazing. So anyway, that's another thing you can do with frozen bananas. You can never have enough frozen bananas. Okay, we're gonna put peanut butter powder. You could put peanut butter. I'm not sure how the peanut butter powder is gonna come out of the bags. We'll find out. So you can do 2 to 4 tablespoons of peanut butter. This is a chocolate protein smoothie. So every 2 tablespoons is gonna be about 7 grams of protein. So we're doubling it. So I'm putting in 4 tablespoons. You could put regular peanut butter if you want, if you don't mind the extra fat. The powder's kind of nice. It's convenient, not quite as messy. Like I say, we're doubling it, so I'm doing 4 tablespoons of peanut butter. Okay, so we have the peanut butter powder, we're gonna do cocoa powder, that's important, make it chocolatey. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons, actually 1 to 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And I'm doubling it. This is actually about 3 tablespoons. Don't you just love how I don't measure very exactly? It's okay, it's a smoothie. It's forgiving. My kids think I'm crazy. Right, Stuart? You think I'm crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm gonna put about a cup of frozen cherries in here. So it'll be chocolate cherry smoothie. It just adds to the sweetness. So if this isn't sweet enough for you with the bananas and cherries, you can add 1 to 2 dates. Of course, my kids like it with added sweetness. So I have some dates here that are chopped up. Make sure there's no pits in them. So I'm gonna put 2 dates since I'm doubling it. But you can just put 1 to 2, depends on the sweetness that you like. This is a great sweetener because it has the fiber, so it's not gonna spike your blood sugar as much. It's gonna keep it more stable. So pretty amazing. And then, because this is a chocolate protein smoothie, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds. Hemp seeds is a great source of protein. About 3 tablespoons is about 10 grams of protein. So I'm gonna do 4 tablespoons since we're doubling it. This is just an 1/8 of a cup. Oh dear. 1/8 of a cup measuring cup, which is 2 tablespoons, I think, if I did the math right. And then we're also gonna put chia seeds because you can't have enough seeds. And they might be hard to get out of the Ziploc bag. Decide what you like, and you can put your seeds in right when you make the smoothie if you don't want to put it in the bag. It's getting stuck to the sides of the bag. And then another little tip, okay, we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, but since we're doubling it, we're doing 2 tablespoons. A little tip about reusing the bags is once you empty it, just store it in the freezer. If you're gonna make the same smoothie in it, you don't even have to wash it out. Pretty cool. And then that's the lazy way of doing it. Then you're reusing the bags. You can use reusable bags, and it's good. And I think that is everything. See, not too hard. Yeah, we got everything. Chocolate smoothie. This is what my son's gonna have for a snack today. Okay, when we make the smoothies, you put in your milk. I prefer soy milk, but this is just what I have, unsweetened almond milk. Soy milk is gonna give you more protein It's gonna give you about 7 to 8 grams of protein per cup. Almond milk is only, this is 1 gram of protein. So depending on what you want for breakfast. Ideally, I'm gonna go for the soy, but there's a lot of protein sources in our bags. So we're gonna put the milk in. We're gonna put in, then you just dump the bag that came from the freezer right in the blender, blend it up, you're good to go. What do you think, Stu?
Very good. Very good flavor.
You had a funny face. What do you think about having to share the smoothie? Should we share some with the girls?
No.
What? How come? You want the whole blender full?
Yeah.
All right, so this is our chocolate protein smoothie. It looks like it tastes delicious. It'll be fun. So those are all the smoothies I have for you today. Go home and make them. Tell me what's your favorite. Maybe if you have questions, ask me questions. I'd love to hear from you. So comment below and I'd love to respond. If you want help with your health and coming up with ideas for helping your family to eat healthier, then let me know. I'd love to work with you.